Hello, everyone. My name is Iveoma. Welcome to Iveoma Media, the platform that helps diaspora invest in Nigeria. Today, I'm sitting with Princess Oti, co-founder of Keioshi.
It's nice to be here.
So we're going to be talking about how Nigerians in the diaspora can invest in fintech companies in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So all of this is coming up. Please make sure to like, comment below. Those are amazing ways to support our channel. Thank you. So, Princess, what is Keioshi?
Thank you. It is so great to be here with you today, Iveoma. So basically, we have built a marketplace that lets Africans at home and in diaspora meet their financial obligations very securely and conveniently. And our launch product is a peer-to-peer currency swap platform that lets people exchange or swap their currencies between different countries. So, for example, this means that if you are in Nigeria, you can send money to the UK, the US, Canada, Germany, parts of Europe, and if you are in diaspora, you can send money down to Nigeria from 40 plus countries. If you are in Nigeria, you can also swap your naira for USD inflow into your account straight. So convenient, great which you can set yourself. And I mean, that's amazing thing we built at Keioshi.
No, that does sound amazing. So, how did you raise funds to build your company?
Very interesting story because I would say okay, we had a few grants here and there before we went live. So we actually launched in beta last year, about January 2021. We beta launched. So this is like a private beta, family and friends of friends. It wasn't that much marketing, just within some circle. And when we launched a beta launched last year, our first investors were actually our first users. So they came
Wow.
on the platform, it's a web-based app, and they joined and they sent money from the US, and they were like, "Whoa!" It was very fast, great rates, and they couldn't believe it. So they came together and just said, "You know what? We're gonna invest in you guys." So that was actually one of our first checks in was from our users, and from
So,
then,
how did they do that though? They sent you an email saying, "Hey, I would like to invest in your company."
yeah. So I think actually reached out via LinkedIn and said, "We love what you built. It's great. It's fast. It works. It's amazing. It's peer to peer. How can we be part of this?" And we said, "Okay." So it was actually via LinkedIn and somewhere via email, but it was more via LinkedIn that the first contact was. So that's actually how we got one of our first checks, and
That's
then from
amazing.
then on, we began to get more and more and more open doors
Yes, no, I understand.
for our first round.
So, your first round was just people who use users of your platform. They loved it. They contacted you and said, "Hey, we want to invest."
So
So,
largely those. We had other people as well, but it was largely people that just began to use the app and loved the app. So we had people that coming through them as well and coming through referrals, and we've spoken to cold contact and everything, but largely we're our users, we're our first investors.
so then after that, okay, so is that like, what kind of round is that? Is that like a friends and family round or?
So usually you have the pre-seed round,
Okay.
I have the seed round, and then you have the series A and B, and so basically that was, well, we call it seed because we have a working product, but usually your first round is the pre-seed round because that's where you're first raising money, but then we have a working product already, so we can say pre-seed seed round basically. Yeah, but for the fun of it, pre-seed round.
So that was the pre-seed round. So are you still raising funds for Keioshi?
Yeah, so we closed that round just about the end of last year. But in about a month or two, we'll start raising again. So
So when you raise money in a month or two, what is that called?
that'll be called a seed round. Because now we've had some traction, we're growing, pumping some money, sow some seed into our lives.
Actually, yeah, okay. Actually, I understand why they call it seed round.
us germinate.
Oh my gosh, I never
Yeah.
thought about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so pre-seed rounds, now in the seed rounds, what is the minimum investment that you're accepting?
So in the pre-seed round, the minimum investment was about so friends and family was about 5,000, then became 10,000 at some point. But now we're looking to just collect money from more of like VCs as opposed to, because our first round was was a lot of angel investors, right? So now we're looking to just get people, companies, so VCs, to join the round, so to speak. We had one VC in the first round.
Can you explain what VC means?
Okay, that's the venture capital,
Mm-hmm.
right? So a VC is like a company that obviously invest in.
So
Yeah.
VC is like a company or just a really rich person?
No. So
It's always a company?
It's an institution, a company,
Oh, okay.
just pretty much solely invest in invest funds basically. So basically, we can have, you can have angels invest by themselves as individuals. You can just have angels invest as a syndicate. You come together, put money together, and invest as a syndicate. You can have VCs as well, as an actual corporate, just investing in different portfolios and trying to make money off of those investments. So yeah, we're looking to get like a VC because they usually come with the backing of a name, good PR, and everything. So
It's
just
a package.
so yeah, so it's like if they are an influential VC, they come with the package basically. So we're looking at more VCs in this round.
VC is
Venture
that like
capital.
100,000 and up?
Yeah, so minimum checks with VCs is about $50,000 to $100,000. So they can invest a lot more, of course, but then the minimum checks you collect from, or you see that VCs actually put in companies is about $100,000. Thereabout as the minimum you'd see them offering companies basically.
Okay. A lot of diaspora are not going to come to you with
Yeah.
50,000, 100,000, 200,000, 5,000, and 10,000 is a
Yeah.
lot more reasonable for.
Angel investors, yeah.
So how can diaspora find companies like you? Because you said the first people who use your products were your first investors,
Yeah.
right? So now you guys know that if you really like a company, you're downloading these apps and you like them, reach out to them, right? But other than that, how did other people find you? Because it's not, the first users were just not your first investors. So who else, how did they find you?
So I would say that we had people that found us via referrals, and we actually did at some point. We had a media campaign, so it wasn't really run by us, but we came second in Africa Prize for innovation and engineering
Okay.
that year. So there was some kind of
You won a
media.
contest.
It wasn't a contest. It was like more like an award
Mm-hmm.
by the British government. So it was there was a media campaign at the time. We've done a few things. I've been to Access Bank, Disrupt. I pitched there as well. So when you're out there as a company, people are just gonna find out about you and try and contact you. So we had those outings, put us out there. We had people refer us as well. We had referrals. So we had people that, I guess, investors in our company, get other people that wanted to put in money as well to come in. We had syndicates of people that said, okay, we have this money, we want to come together and invest in you guys.
So you had like investment clubs invest in you.
Pretty much. Well, yeah, you call it a club because that's what it pretty much is, a club. But right now, I think to make it easier, we have people or companies like Get Equity, who are companies that allow people that are, like, want to invest a smaller amount of money, invest in portfolio companies. So they put up different companies on the app, on the platform, and you, as a user, can just come in and pick a company and invest in a company. So it's an app called Get Equity. You can check them out as well. But
Get Equity.
Get
Okay.
Equity. So it's just one of the companies I know that make this whole thing, make investing easier for individuals. So I would say, aside that, I don't know any other. I guess if you look on Google companies and stuff, but I imagine the best way to find is via people like Get Equity, or if you're going to these different, like, we have many events like by companies like Tech Cabal or Tech Point or Tech Crunch. They hold events every year, or YSeed, so that you can pretty much look at these different platforms for people that they've actually featured and see what, if you like any of the companies they featured and everything. For now, it's more like you have to pretty much go and find it. It's not really at your doorstep at the moment, but hopefully sooner it'll be much better, and you can see like a platform where all these things are pretty much put in one place.
Yes, I think that's wonderful. So, one, you guys should be looking at platforms like Get Equity to pay attention to media, right? Like, also check out these pitch competitions and contests and just awards. It just seems like a lot of research on your end, but it's possible because people did. invest in your company.
From that, yeah.
So I know that you said the initial users of your platform were your first investors,
Yeah.
but outside of that, I know you had to do some your own research. So
Yeah.
how did you find investors?
Yes, I would say first off, we had our investors refer us to other people as well. Say,
Ah,
hey, we've
perfect.
put in money here, so you should check this out, and then see if you want to, invest in this company as well. We also, so at many of our media outings or competitions like Disrupt, for example, you have people gather in one place, and this is full of other companies, investors looking for who to invest in, full of the media houses as well. So in those places, you make good connections that help you see, okay, hey, this guy's looking to invest in a company. You can talk to him. So we had those. So I guess media outings as well helped us meet people that we thought were interested in our company, and also we had loads of cold calls. So we used to pretty much go and seek people out on LinkedIn. So for example, you see someone that's put in money in a company that you think you might find interesting. So you actually put in money there, and you're like, okay,
So wait,
if he
the person put in money in a company that's similar to yours.
maybe similar or maybe a similar demographic. So you're like, okay, if this guy puts or this guy or this woman putting money in this company, they might actually like what we're building. So we would make a cold call or ask for a referral if we could. But obviously, a referral is always better than a cold call because
Yeah.
you obviously a higher chance you stand with a referral than you would if you just said, oh hey, so and so person building this, and they're like, okay, nice. But if someone says, this person has built this and I know this person very well, I think you always have a higher chance of getting that audience than when you just from nowhere. But I mean, I would always say push. We don't ever stop pushing, regardless of the no's and the yeses you get. We still keep pushing. So yeah, we had a lot of referrals, so many referrals, a lot of cold calls, a lot of meeting people at different events, and then just being connected there. And even we had several incubators as well. So we actually could come together with other companies and we got introduced to investors as well. So we had a few of those that helped us broaden our scope of investors.
Okay, a lot of people are interested in investing, but they don't exactly understand what they're going to get. So when someone gives a company like yours money, what do they get in return?
Okay, so I guess a good way to start is saying that for early stage companies, the instrument investments, so what you used to pretty much invest in an early stage company generally is safes. So converting future equity, right?
A safe
The safe is the
equals-
contract. The
Oh,
contract.
it's a contract.
Yeah.
Okay.
that lets the investor convert future equity.
Okay.
So that's usually so it's like it's kind of protects the company, from so if for any reason the company folds before it converts, yeah, but
But
it's
it protects the investor too.
as well, of course. I mean, it's a contract.
It's a contract.
Exactly, it does. But the thing is that that's usually the instrument you use to invest in early stage companies. That's a general instrument. So usually, it's a risk. It's a serious risk investing. So you're not really sure.
That's why they call it angel investing.
Yeah, because it's a risk investing in, and everyone knows. So you can see like angel investors they can have like 7 different companies they put in money in, and maybe they know that only about 3 or 2 or one of those will actually succeed.
So you're saying that's what people should think of when they're investing in new early stage companies.
risk.
Just look at it, see if it's a risk that is tolerable to you, and then invest knowing that it is a risk to invest in an early stage company.
Which is why you have so many like projections around people that are investors, angel investors, because it is risky. So you must understand the risk you're going into before you say you want to be an angel investor, because you don't start crying and be like, hey, do you get my whole thing? I mean, hopefully not, but you get what I mean,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, it's definitely very risky, but I mean, you're supposed to do your diligence before you put in money. So you ask for the documents you should ask for.
No,
Before-
everyone always talks about due diligence. Break down what due diligence is.
I mean, there's a lot of things that form due diligence, but I would say every company should have a data room.
A data room.
Yeah, which you can ask for as an investor, where you have all the documents for incorporation, have everybody that has put in money in the company, you have every information you pretty much can have about the company, documents that legal documents. So everything legal is on that place as well. So basically, you're pretty much asking for a data room to see all the different documents that comprise of. Some people ask for like an Excel for like projection, and for us to feel like projections are based on assumptions. So we are saying, okay, show me your 5 year projection in an Excel. It's like, I mean, I can show you that, but it's based on an assumption. So
that we're
which
gonna grow every year.
I mean, different assumptions in Excel models. So it's like, I wouldn't even call that a very viable data sheet to make an investment on, because that's based on many assumptions. But some people, some, not all, very few people actually ask for that, you know. But yeah, I wouldn't say that's what I would ask for, because again, assumptions are bound on an Excel sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you have a data room that pretty much has every information about the company, legal information, incorporation, everything you can pretty much imagine that the company has, I guess, structure wise, has on ground will be in that data room, which you can request for as an investor.
So,
Well, if you're serious anyway, don't go and ask for that if you're not a serious investor. That'll be annoying.
can you tell if someone is not serious?
Oh my gosh, our experience with this.
There are a lot of time wasters. A lot.
Time. Where would I even start from? Well, it's one thing if you guys say, okay, we've come this far, but we're not aligned on maybe the valuation. That's fine. You've spoken all along. We've seen that, okay, they like your company, but what they want to put in and what you want is not aligned. So you can agree to this, say, okay, fine, we will not proceed. I mean, they didn't really waste your time, but at least they just did not agree with you on maybe a valuation or a particular term or something, the contract, whatever. But that's different from a time waster who knows that they don't. So, for example, they've had someone come and spend about 3 months. We're very early at the time. We had time. 3 months. We had time. 3 months talking to us, coming for meetings. Very early. This is like very early. I think 2020 even. Coming for meetings. He spent too much time on Excel, and just trying to like break down. They spent good number of hours.
Yeah, 3 months.
And then when it came
hours.
down to time to drop money, they were like, that the money's not here yet, so that the money's gonna come. The money's not here yet. The money's going to, and I was like, okay, so all this time you're talking to us and making us spend man hours, the money wasn't there,
Wow.
and the money would come. Give us like a month, the money would show up, and I was just like, all this time. So we're just trying to develop some kind of radar for when someone is a time. We can just tell that it's a time with. So it's a time.
Okay,
with.
how?
I think it's intrinsic, because I can't really say how. I mean, I can't tell you that this guy's. But I feel like if I hear 1 or 2 or 3 things, I'm like, okay, yeah, time waster.
But what's some of the 2 or 3 things that you hear?
Okay, ask for Excel sheets.
Anyone who's asking for this Excel sheet.
Projection. I mean, it's not a bad thing, but you know what I mean. I mean, it's not really a good pointer as to what you're going to be in 5 years. It is a great guide, but you know what I mean. Time waster as well. So when there's no commitment. So for example, we have people that say, okay, we intend to close this discussion by in 2 weeks or in 1 month and everything. So that kind of definite time shows that, okay, they have a particular time frame from discussion to money.
Yeah.
It just shows that, okay, there's a time frame, and it's not a thing where you're discussing for 3 months till infinity. There's no definitive.
Yeah.
So
Open-ended.
because these guys there was no like, it wasn't a real close date. There was, but it was a very far one. So from talking to money, to check coming in. So usually you want to know, okay, so we talk to you today and you like what we do, when is the time between this discussion to money if we're going ahead with this? So usually that defined time frame, that's what I was looking for. Defined time frame would help to understand, okay, this person is a serious investor. And if you see also their past portfolio, so you see what they've put in, companies they've previously put in money in as well, you're like, okay, they've put in money here. Okay, they have a good track record. They seem serious. So yeah, I guess these things are usually how you know that people are serious investors.
What questions should investors ask fintech companies or companies in Nigeria?
That's a very deep question, like, because every company is different. So you're asking questions based on the market, based on the founders, based on the plans for the future or roadmap for the future. So that's a very, very wide question, because for each company and for each market, it's an open-ended thing to just ask questions. But I imagine you're asking about roadmap, asking about the founders, the backstory. You're asking about obviously traction,
How
asking
fast you're growing.
yeah, or what they've done so far with the time they've had and previous raise or any future raises. Uh, so you're looking at their board as well. So if there's a board existing, looking at who they're working with or if they've been on any kind of program as well. So you're looking at several different metrics you can use to judge. But for each market, it's different. For each company, it's very, 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 very different. Yeah.
What are some of the questions that people ask you before they invest?
Okay. They ask us like a roadmap. So I said to you before that Keioshi, our launch product is pretty much you can send money from the diaspora from 40 countries to Nigeria and Ghana, and from Nigeria and Ghana to about 9 countries, and but the vision for us is bigger than that. It's bigger than just sending money back and forth. We're actually working on building a marketplace, an ecosystem that allows people in the diaspora, access financing back home in Nigeria. So, for example, you can imagine an immigrant living in Silicon Valley able to buy a car for his mom in Nigeria, and that's funded by a Nigerian bank. So it's an idea of cross-border financing. And we're actually going to launch something really soon. It's a health insurance product where you have immigrants able to purchase health insurance directly from our platform for their loved ones back home in Nigeria. So that's like a big picture, and that's what we're actually building currently. Very soon we'll launch the financing one as well. So they ask about roadmap and say, okay, what are your plans for the next 6 months? What have you raised so far? What are you using the money for? So if you're asking for $100,000, what is that money for? And we show them what the money's for.
Yeah,
As you know,
yeah, as I know.
we show them what the money's for. You can pretty much divide the use of funds into different things, and so they pretty much want to know exactly what we've done so far, how many customers you have, how many are active users, and what your cost of acquisition is. So what it costs us to actually acquire one customer, as opposed to what it costs to acquire, so different metrics they want to use to understand what your costs are versus what your revenue is going to be, and see if that's profitable in future. So yeah, several metrics. There are many, but I can recall a few here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful for this breakdown because of everything that you said. I learned so much throughout this entire chat with you because so many diaspora are interested in investing in Nigeria, especially fintech right now because of the millions and millions of dollars they raised last year.
Yeah.
Right now, it's the end of January or no, beginning of February, and people have been closing their series like last month, and they raised millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of us, we see all of this money. We always see these people are raising money, but we're like, how can we get involved? But you broke down how people can get involved. And it's a lot of research on you guys. You guys need to be more involved. You really need to do a lot of research and look at these pinch competitions, ask questions, go to these clubhouses, even online, go to events in person, and there's events over Zoom and all these things. Like, it's a lot of research.
Look out for it.
Yeah, look out for it. It's a
Yeah.
lot. And I just really appreciate you breaking so much of these terms down because I think a lot of people were confused, and hopefully they watch this and they feel like more empowered that they can invest in Nigerian companies.
They
And
can.
you can. Oh.
You can. Oh.
But so is there anything else you would like to say?
Not too much. I'm happy to be here, of course. Thank you so much for hearing me out, speaking to me as well. But basically, just to put a cap on it, Keioshi is the plug to send money to Nigeria and Ghana from the diaspora, 40 countries plus, including parts of Asia, Europe, the US, UK, Canada as well. So hey, we are the plug. So if you want to get the best rates, fees for as low as less than $1, £1, and then really fast transfer, come to Keioshi. We are the plug. And also, if you're sending money from Nigeria as well to the diaspora, and you want to swap your naira for USD inflow into them account, we are also the plug for that. So that's my little pitch. Thank you.
Thank you, Princess. Everyone, comment below if you are interested in investing in a Nigerian fintech company, and ask some questions in the comments. I would love to answer them, or maybe make them a topic of my next video. Okay, bye now.
Bye.